When this project is stopped, it's going to be due to the people in this room. So thank you, everybody, for taking time out of doing whatever you're doing in order to be here. It means a lot. I have one quick comment and then one question. One, I also want to agree with you, this is not at all political. That's why I'm glad the three other folks that are also running for city council along with me, Cliff Hagan, Griffin Pasella, and John Buhorn, are all here because this is not the most important issue that the South Shore is facing. This is the only issue. Because if we lose on this, it's absolutely over. And that's why there's no daylight on any of the four of us on this issue, and I'm glad to be here. But I think the question that you raised and so many people raised is such a good one. What happened from the Community Board 3 meeting we were all at, where we did reject this in a motion that I was happy to put forward, and today? Well, one of the things that happened is we had some grandstanding politicians act like this was a done deal, acting like, oh, don't worry, it's all done, nobody needs to worry about anything. I expected George Bush to fly down with a mission accomplished banner behind him. And that's the difference, is people think this fight is over. And I want to urge you, this is not even close to over. This is just beginning. Do not get lulled into a false sense of security that this fight is over. And that's why when you see me, Cliff, Griffin, John asking for your vote in April, June, or November, or all three, you need to ask us, what are we going to do to stop this? I have a few ideas. I'm sure the other folks have a couple of ideas. One of the things that we've heard from these folks is this developer of this property is as shady as can be. He owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in delinquent property taxes. He's got violations at other properties all over the city. So if I'm elected, and I hope these three will agree with me on this, is I'm going to put forward legislation that if you have a history of violations and delinquent property taxes, you can't just develop another property in opposition to what the community wants. That's issue number one. The point that you made about City of Yes, that Congresswoman Malliotakis made, the other thing I want to do legislatively, in addition to signing off on that great lawsuit with a friend of the court brief, is I want to issue legislation. Staten Island's so different from the rest of the city. Staten Island ought to be exempt from the City of Yes so that we don't have these high-density projects to worry about in the future. Then, there's got to be, they're calling this a hotel. Jerry mentioned that this is a hotel, not a homeless shelter. Do you think there's as much of a need for a hotel in the South Shore of Staten Island as there is in Midtown Manhattan? So one of the things that I'm going to do is issue legislation, introduce legislation that would require a market share study for any hotel that's built outside of Manhattan. Because I got news for you. If there was a market share study before this hotel would be built, there would be no hotel built. And lastly, it should simply not be permitted to get permits for a transient hotel with the intention of making it a homeless shelter. That needs to stop that, and I'm going to introduce legislation to do all four of those things. And my question to everybody, Bob, Mario, Peter, Jeff, and Jim, is we all learned about this about 2 weeks ago. And my question, and I'm not looking to assign blame at all, but I think it threw us all for a bit of a loop. Clearly, this property was purchased, and at some point, the permit was filed with the stated 4-story building with exactly the specifications that you mentioned, Bob. When was that filed, and who knew about it? Just so we know who we can hold accountable for this.